Namaskar. It's show time again, but with a changed timing. We usually go live at 9 p.m., but today we are live at 7 p.m. because there is a reason. We have got our guest who is she is from very far behind, and maybe our time zones wouldn't have matched. And so I have today taken this or started this live session at 7 p.m. So welcome you all on a Sunday evening. It's good morning in Kaduna and good evening in India. I'm Mrs. Manjusha Kelkar, a passionate teacher at heart and a counselor by profession. Founder of a platform named Breakthrough Higher Education. I am passionate about guiding students in their medical journey. So, we have interviewed till date, you know that many people I have interviewed till date. Many professionals in medical field, and when I say medical field, it is including MBBS track, and many other tracks, like we have done occupational therapy, we have even done nursing, and many others. And after MBBS also journey we have tracked how to become a major in an army, etc. So now today in the series we have taken physiotherapy as our career path. Before this, I have explained what is physiotherapy, how to do it. Then I have explained the Indian track by 2 or 3 interviews. You can go and see them on my YouTube channel or my Facebook group. And as well, this Friday itself, I have interviewed a girl who has gone to USA, and now she also has got license to practice in USA. We have tracked her journey, and today is the turn of a person whom we adore, and I would like to call her on stage. And she is hello,
Hello,
Prajakta. Yeah.
hello. Nice to meet
So,
you.
how are you, Prajakta from Canada? And before introducing it, rather, it would be better if she introduces herself. But let me tell you that she is from Pune, and after doing her graduation in Pune, she went to New Zealand and ultimately landed in Canada. And now she has got a license to practice in Canada. That is, she is a licensed or registered physiotherapist. So, yes, Prajakta, welcome. So,
Thank you.
yes, tell us all something about yourself. How would you describe yourself as a physiotherapist as well and as a person?
Okay, and first of all, I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge and some experience. So I will try my best to give the correct information as much as possible. Okay, so yes, to tell me about tell like something about myself. I'm Prajakta Lonkar Karandikar. I'm a registered physio working in Canada in Edmonton City now. I graduated from Tirak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth. I did my bachelor's of physiotherapy over there and graduated in 2011. And then I graduated as a postgraduate diploma in sports physiotherapy from University of Otago, New Zealand in 2014.
Okay.
Oh, and in between, I gained some experience working in India at some hospitals and clinic. And after my New Zealand degree, I was thinking to move to Canada, so I tried the process for that.
Great to know about you. Rajatta, we are repetitively looking or seeing people migrating to different countries from India.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would like to know about your experience as well. Was it a defined track for you, and why physio? I'm always curious about understanding what it goes into the mindset of the people when they take a certain branch or a certain faculty,
Mm-hmm.
be it in any field of their life. So why physio? And when
Okay.
was that when you decided? Because the crucial time period is your 12th standard. When you say that, okay, now I have taken science, I have taken biology, but I want to do something now related to biology, something like that, because I am a career counselor, Prajakta, and many a times children come to me and say, "Ma'am, हमने biology तो ले लिया है, हमको biology में career करना है because I love biology, but I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a paying field in this field if I study biology?"
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would like to understand that from you.
Yeah, actually, like from a younger age, I was interested into healthcare. And as you
Mm-hmm.
said, in 12th standard in India, we have a lot of focus on and discussions at home regarding what career to choose, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was in the science stream, and I feel like my strengths were more into biology and science more than any physics or mathematical field. And even physiotherapy. at that time it was like a booming career. So
Mm-hmm.
and even my parents did a lot of research and we discussed and they helped me to narrow down my search. So I landed with physiotherapy, but I always wanted to work in the healthcare sector, something which
Mm-hmm.
has like to do with rehabilitation.
Yeah, great, great, great. So as it is, it's a good field. As I understand, new modalities are coming in, new processes are getting set up, and as we talked about that, the in India also different state councils and registration
Mhm.
processes are coming down in place slowly, slowly for this particular field also. So,
Mhm.
so that's a good thing. What is happening, and I always say that around 2022, world over, medical education system is going to change because big changes have happened in the USMLE process, residency process in USA, and everywhere down the line in India also. We are
Mhm.
facing, or we shortly will be introducing next exam, like a licensure exam for MBBS students. So
Okay.
things are slowly coming in place, or they are getting systematized,
Mhm.
if I may say that.
Mhm.
So yes, it was good to understand. Now, I think I have a surprise for you because I have a student who would like
Okay.
to ask you some questions. Because before calling her, I would even like to ask you. So you did your graduation,
Mhm.
right? After
Yes.
doing your graduation, why and how New Zealand happened?
Okay, so when I graduated and I started working, so I got to know the field very well. Like I tried
Mhm,
because I worked like on practical field, right? Like it was a lot
mhm,
of
mhm,
hands-on, and
mhm,
so that time we always like discuss that to study further, where should we go? And I was always thinking to go abroad, uh,
mhm.
to learn new skills. And
Okay.
as we were discussing with my like friends or colleagues, I knew that I wanted to go to New Zealand. It was my dream to go to University of Otago to do that
Mhm.
course because
Okay.
it's one of the top ranking universities in New Zealand.
Mhm.
And when I applied, I got the invitation from them to like pursue
Okay.
sports physiotherapy over there. So I was so happy. So
Mhm.
when I was looking for these options, one was like Australia, New Zealand, and Canada as well.
Okay, okay, okay. So, yes, so I think I must call her. She's Shivani Sahani. And
Mhm.
hello, Shivani. So,
Hello.
she's
Hi.
an intern right now and she's studying her physiotherapy right here in Pune. So,
Okay.
yes, so we may connect Canada to Pune.
Mhm.
So, I think she would like to ask you some questions regarding the study pattern in New Zealand. What say, Shivani?
Yeah. Hi, Prajakta. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So my first question would obviously be which course did you do
Mhm.
and how was the course? Was it more of practical based? Was it very in the classroom research based? How was it?
Mhm. Okay, so I applied for PG diploma in sports physiotherapy. Um,
Okay.
so it was a 1 year course at University of Otago. I did my research regarding the courses, and I wanted to do this. As I was more inclined towards sports and musculoskeletal injuries. So as this was a 1 year course, when you get the admission or the email from university, it is mandatory to get a provisional registration with the board of New Zealand as well before you go to the course, because
Okay.
it's like first 6 months or 5 months it would be a lot of like assignments and theory based, and other 6 months is like working in the clinics, more on hands on
Okay.
with the patients. So for that to work you need to get registered with the college.
All
uh,
right.
so as
So this is all. This is all you have to do right now, right here in India.
right here in India when you
That is
get.
a prerequisite before even flying down there. That means, if I understand the process correctly, what I have understood till date, or I have guided students that even as soon as you get the admit, you start all this process of registering yourself. Correct?
That's right. And even the
Yeah.
student coordinator will guide you through that by providing
Mm-hmm.
the checklist that you have to follow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Great. And I had another question. You said you worked for some time before leaving for New Zealand.
Mhm.
So, how long did you work, and where exactly did you work? Where, in the sense, what
Yeah.
exposure, what kind of patients did you see
Okay.
before going for that course? And do
Yeah.
you recommend that much of WorkX
Mhm.
before going for your masters?
Definitely, like I would like to say, like from my point of view, at least if you get like 1 or 1.5 years of experience working in that field,
Hmm.
you'll get a better knowledge of that, and it will narrow down your search to know in which field or which
Right,
subject you have to do, like uh,
right, right, right.
branch you have to choose. Uh,
Okay.
and I worked at 2 hospitals and 1 clinic before leaving. So in hospitals, you get like exposure to working in ICUs, OPDs, and
Yeah,
IPDs.
yeah.
So different patient load. And
Okay.
similarly, in clinics, it was mostly based on orthopedic clinics. So a lot of orthopedic injuries I was able to see in there.
Okay. And in New Zealand, did you see a lot of, so you did your masters in sports, right? So did you see a lot of sports population, or
Yeah,
was it more of ortho?
yeah. So this was not master's. So this was a 1 year course of PG diploma. If you want
Yeah.
to go further, you will have to do like 1 year more. And I saw a lot of sport as I did specialization in sports. So a lot of patients I saw were sports injuries, like
Okay. Yeah.
basketball injuries,
So you
tennis.
do get a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So it's 6 plus 6, 6 months plus 6 months, six
Hmm.
Yeah.
months of
Yeah.
theory, 6 months of practical or clinical, whatever you call it,
That's right.
the terminology wise.
Hmm.
Okay, great, Nimisha. So great to know. And I hope, Shivani, any other questions about New Zealand,
Um.
about specific about New Zealand?
No, nothing in specific. I'll
Okay, then
ask as
I'll
I,
ask
yeah,
one
as we
question.
proceed. Yeah.
As a parent, I will add one question if she wishes to. Roughly, what's the fee structure like?
So the course which I did, and this was in 2014. So it
Mm-hmm,
was the cost approximately was around 35 to $38,000, like New Zealand
mm-hmm,
dollars.
mm-hmm.
So and then other
Okay,
expenses like accommodation and groceries, if you take that in account, then it would round up to 35 to 40 lakhs Indian rupees for that year.
okay. So, and loans are easily available for this particular faculty, that is sports physio.
Mhm. Yes, you can apply for student loans.
Okay, great,
And I
great.
had another question. I just remembered.
Okay.
uh, no, I wanted to ask if with your 1 year course, so you have lesser time for the course, did you have any extra time to do any part-time work while you were doing your diploma?
Actually, like I tried to do it, but
Uh,
as the course was like little bit different from India,
yeah.
I wanted some time to get to know the system well.
Hmm.
So I didn't continue with that. But normally, like students can do part-time work as you get a 2 years visa. Like on a student
Okay.
visa, you can work for 1 year in there.
All right. All right.
Like
Okay.
not in physiotherapy, but
Yeah.
something
Yeah. Yeah.
related to
Hmm.
that.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
part-time job.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
can categorize. Any
Yeah.
Yeah.
type of part-time job. That
Hmm.
is
Right.
roughly 20 hours per week. Whatever is allowed is
That's
allowed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
great, great. Okay, Shivani. So I'll continue the journey with her,
Yes.
and hopefully I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Prajakta. So, one question one of the viewer is asking Dr. Mrunal. She says, or he says, I don't know. They say that most of physiotherapy population is opting abroad than some good university in India. What do
Mhm.
you think is the reason in terms of education and work? Would you like to answer?
So, as in terms of India, I can't talk much about that because I don't know the curriculum for the masters over
Mm-hmm.
there. But definitely, for the experience point of view, I like to work both, like in India and New Zealand or Canada as well. But just maybe the work culture, like the hours that you're working in India are more than what you're doing it here.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
And maybe the branch has gotten good vibes. In India, many a times we feel like physios are made equivalent to a gym instructor.
Yeah,
See,
actually,
still in our minds, we have not arrived through that branch. Technically, as a physiotherapy is a branch which is to be studied, because many times, or most of the times, I come across physios who say that, okay, we also study complete anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, everything what a MBBS student studies in his first year or our first year. So, please, excuse me, I am a doctor. So, maybe we have not given that much recognition to the branch as
yeah, the
physiotherapy, and therefore
awareness,
maybe people are trying to move abroad. That's what I feel.
yeah,
Okay, great.
awareness of physio.
Yeah. So after your 1 year, you came back to India. Is
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So after I completed that 1 year course, I came back and then I was working with Sancheti Hospital in Pune. And
Mm-hmm.
then also I was working as a consultant physiotherapist at one of the orthopedic clinics uh,
Mm-hmm.
with the orthopedic surgeon over there.
Okay. Okay. So how much, roughly, how much time span was this?
This was for about 1 year. And
Okay.
in that time, I knew like I want to go to Canada. So I did started my research for that because I didn't know anything. I didn't know anyone to know how the licensing procedure goes there. So I started preparing for that.
Okay. So, any advantage, Prajakta, because you have done your course, sports postgraduate diploma from New Zealand,
Mhm.
do you get any advantage back here in India for working, for in terms of salary, maybe, or the exposure which you have got there was better than what people are getting here? So, did you get any advantage?
Yeah, so there were many job opportunities available then because I studied there. So I
Mm-hmm.
had got some more skills that I would need
Okay.
to work in an orthopedic setting.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Okay.
beneficial for me.
Yeah, great. And as a physio,
Hmm.
how does Prajakta react under pressure?
Okay, like I try to keep my calm, and so like before I start my day, I try to look at my schedule and plan accordingly. Sometimes it might get busy, right? So just
Mm-hmm.
keep your calm and prioritize the task that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to
Okay.
finish that when I'm at workplace.
Any funny moments in your life when you were back here in India, either, or you were in New Zealand back there practicing for 6 months?
Hmm.
Any funny moments or any wow moments, or any depressing moments for that matter?
Yeah, when many wow movements like because I tried to practice my new skills on my patients, and when they felt like really good in just one or two like sessions, it was like a wow moment for me because I feel like I get a chance to have a positive impact on their health and functional or day-to-day living, right?
Mm-hmm.
So depressing, that were not many, but sometimes it can be like if you are treating a chronically ill patient, it might be like a emotional overload for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
many a times,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a burnout,
Burnout.
emotional as well as in your people's case, in physiotherapy case, it is mental as well as physical burnout,
Mm-hmm.
because you're actually doing some activity with them. It's not that you're sitting still and simply handling the mental pressure.
Yeah.
You are doing activities with them. So yes, both the ways. So Prajakta, do you yourself get physiotherapy done for you?
Yes. Because like as I'm not into manual therapy and hands-on techniques, right? Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I get some neck issues or some stiffness, so I try to do some physiotherapy. I try to do all the exercises at home as well.
Mm-hmm. And do
So,
you people do it for each other?
yes, so I have to talk to my colleagues or friends.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. So you must be having an internal session in between somewhere, 8 days or sometimes.
Yes.
Okay. So when you went to this particular thing, while you were studying, or now that you are full-fledged practicing there, did
Mhm.
you or do you have any role models?
Yeah, I can't say like one role model because I'm always like into that learning zone.
Mm-hmm.
So even my like professors from New Zealand, where I got to know like how to do some critical thinking. Like we don't just want to do the treatment just to follow a protocol. It's not like a cookie cutter. So just to know the condition and why that's happening, how to time manage. I also learn from my colleagues when I'm working with them to know their approach.
Yeah. So everyone you can learn in this particular profession, the complete team, because physio, occupational therapy, and speech therapists go hand in hand many a times, especially with the special children. So many a times it's learning together or discussing with the physician and the four of you as a team, and then talking out some plan how this can best possibly work.
That's right. In collaboration, it's very important here. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great to know. So, coming back to India, you now have experience of 1 year, and you are thinking of like moving to Canada. So, what did you do first? You first applied for your education further, or you got your PR, or how it goes? Means, suppose, okay, let me call Shivani once again. Supposing Shivani wants to tomorrow go to Canada, what would you advise her? Because supposing she says that I don't want to get any work ex, it's okay, and I want to go for my masters in Canada. And so what would you advise her? I'm not asking you as a professional, but simple advice, because you must have seen many people around you doing such type of things. So whether to go directly for your masters or your education, or first get your PR and then do your masters. And as you rightly said that getting 1 year experience is okay, but without that also you can go for your masters.
That's
right?
Even
So
without that you can go.
yeah. So how, which type of optimum thing you would suggest as a suggestion, simple suggestion?
So I would say like you just plan beforehand, maybe 1 year, because the intakes here might be different, like the months.
September, yes.
September intakes. So try to do your research, like which university you want to go to. Also see like which city you're going or which province, because even the license structure then changes, like the license protocol over there. And then it's like a 2 years masters over here, right? So just go through their what are the subjects that they are going to teach, if there is any like any visa to work later, so you can do that. And like the fee structure wise, if you're international student, you'll be paying higher than what you'll be
A
paying.
PR, yeah.
Yeah.
If you study after your PR, because then you will be a citizen, fee structure will be applicable, and as an international student it is almost double the fees.
So I would
Okay.
say like it goes hand in hand. You try to do the both processes at the same time. So luckily, if you have your PR, it's much more easier.
True, very true. Okay. So you did your PR. The path you took, we will track that path. So you took your PR, or you applied for PR from India.
Yes.
And then what happened?
So I applied for PR, but I didn't know anything about how to work as a physiotherapist and what are the prerequisites to work as a licensed physiotherapist. So I talked to many people who were already in Canada and who were working as a physiotherapist. So I did my research, and then I got to know like there are 2 organizations that you have to follow. There are 5 steps to get licensed over here.
Okay.
So the first step, I started from India just 1 year before, because it might take time for them to go through the documents and get back to you. So it's called as credentialing process, which is done by CAPR, that is Canadian Alliance of Physiotherapy Regulators. So they will ask you for some documents like transcripts, your mark sheets, and they want it directly from your university where you studied in India.
So it's an equivalence process. You have to establish equivalence.
Yes.
And one more question, sorry to interrupt you, but why you took this route, first going to New Zealand and then moving to Canada? Why didn't you plan directly going to Canada, and why didn't you settle down in New Zealand after doing your 1 year?
Because as I said, I always wanted to study at University of Otago and go to New Zealand. But I know like the process to work there as a physiotherapist, licensed physiotherapist, is a bit hard. like not hard, but the process is different. You need like a band of 7.5 or more than 7 in each of the IELTS exams, and
Means 7.5, no band less than 7.
no band less than 7. So
Okay.
that is one of the criteria. Then they will go through your documents and grades, because they will check how the bachelor's from India is equivalent to theirs, right? So they won't guarantee like if you get the license to work there.
Equivalence.
But in
So there
Canada,
is no guarantee.
yeah, there
Yeah.
is no
You were
guarantee.
saying so.
And in Canada, you have the option to give exam, right? This exam is for both, like even the Canadian graduates and for international students. But at least you have the option to appear for the exam and get your license. So I tried for Canada that time.
So, just one sec, if I understand you correctly, in New Zealand, there is nothing like licensing exam, only your documents are required. So
Yes,
the rejection is in their hands, whether they want to accept or reject it,
yeah,
maybe the clarity is not there. There is a lot
there
of
is,
ambiguity in New Zealand,
that's right.
getting license to practice, because
Mhm.
there is no licensure exam. Like in Canada, you can say that, oh, I have to appear for this. If
Yes,
I pass, I get the license. So there
yes,
is some clarity. In New
very,
Zealand, there is no clarity. There is a lot of ambiguity there.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So yes, Shivani, you would like to ask anything else regarding, and yes, now the
Yeah.
field is yours.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I wanted to ask something more about the licensing exam, because from what I had heard and checked on the internet when I was doing my research was that the Canadian licensing exam is extremely difficult, and hardly half the people, half the international applicants get through. So
Mhm.
just how was the exam about? Was there enough practical? Was it MCQs? Just how was it?
Okay, so the exam here, as I said, like when you go through CAPR and your credentialing is done, you
Hmm.
apply, they will ask you to do a orientation program. So orientation course is like so that you get to know how the system works here, right?
Okay.
And then you're eligible to go the apply for the physiotherapy competency exam. It is called as PCE. So there are
Yeah.
two components in that. There is a written component and a practical component, and you get
Okay.
3 chances for each of the exams. So written component is like you get 200 MCQs that would focus around all the bachelor's curriculum that we
Yeah,
follow.
so all
So
4 years that we have studied is
in a
asked
MCQ
over there.
format,
Yeah.
we will ask that. And once you pass that, then you are eligible to work as a resident physiotherapist. That means you have to work under someone's supervision who is a fully licensed therapist.
Okay.
And
And
then, yeah, and then comes the practical part or the clinical part, where as you are working as a resident, you can prepare for your clinical exams. So it is like
oh,
you get 16 stations and you have, so there are different cases that you have to follow, 15 stations, and you have to go inside and treat the patient like whatever the question says. So it's like a
okay.
clinical exam. So they say like the passing rate, yeah, but I would say like when you practice, you will get to know more and do better.
So basically, in short, the country helps you pass the exam because they are the ones who are taking you in and giving you the exposure so that you clear the exam.
No, so
I think
Can I
I'll
say it like
just
that?
correct you here. As soon as you land there in Canada on a PR, especially, what
Hmm.
happens is you can work as an assistant physio there.
that's
Hmm.
right.
That means you are in your field. You know
Mhm.
Yeah.
what happens? What is the difference here? Because if you are working part time, but you are working out of your field, then you are not getting enough exposure.
Yeah.
But here, what happens is if you are on a PR, then you can work as an assistant physio um, based on your graduation degree in India,
Yeah.
whose
Yeah,
equivalence
Exact.
has been
Yeah.
established. Whose
Understood.
equivalence has been established. You apply to WES, you get the equivalence, and they say that yes, this is equivalent, whatever grade point, GPA, everything they equate, and then they say that okay, now you can work as an assistant physio, and then you can appear. I think Prajakta, after that also you can start appearing for your theory as well as practical. Is it?
yeah, actually, like WES, it comes in when you're applying for the PR, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
need it for the credentialing process. And anyways, you can work as a physiotherapy assistant. Like you have to see for that. But if you don't get any physiotherapy assistant jobs, you have to do like some odd jobs as well if
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
so. But I always prefer to work in that field, so you know to get the
Yeah.
system very well.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
had another
So
question. Oh,
no,
sorry.
just a minute, Shivani. So we are right now at second step, clinical. You have appeared
Yes.
for your clinicals.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, what happened? And also want to understand the timeline and the duration for all these processes. In which approximately in which month you landed in Canada, and how much time you took to get this particular license?
So I was here in 2016, and then I started the process whatever was needed, like the orientation course, then preparing for the exams. Normally, they take for the written exam at least 4 or 5 sessions per year, like those written exams are held.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but see that you prepare very well before you go for that.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, in 2018, I got my provisional license. So that means I can work as a resident physiotherapist. And then I started my journey or my practice towards the clinical as I was working at a clinic uh, under the supervisor
Mm-hmm. And then you got your license in 2020.
in 2020. Yeah.
So that means you landed there in 2016, and almost roughly 4 years
Yeah, roughly they say like you should count like at least like 5 years maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
to
like
get your yes,
exams and yeah,
full-fledged license.
that's right.
Okay, so that's the timeline. Roughly, we are looking at this timeline.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Shivani, you were asking something.
I blanked out.
Forgot.
Wait, I forgot what I was asking.
I think maybe
Yeah,
I have
I
covered your
remembered.
question. Yeah, yeah.
No, no,
Please
I
go ahead.
remember. So, once you were associated with a senior physiotherapist, as an assistant, you were working under somebody. So, were you affiliated with a hospital, or was it a clinic, or what are the different? Where all did you work, and where can you work?
Okay. So assistant, so there are assistant is like before you do your return or even when
Hmm.
you're doing your return. But as a
Oh,
resident PT, you can work full fledged as a physiotherapist, what you would do with a licensed physiotherapist. Only thing is that with the College of Alberta where I'm working or different
hmm.
colleges of their province, they need someone or like a supervisor so that they know you're under provisional registration for that time. But you can
Okay.
do all the work as you're going to do as a licensed physiotherapist.
All right. Okay.
So you get
Yeah.
complete exposure.
Complete
Yeah. Yeah.
exposure.
But under supervision, but you get complete exposure. That means you are doing hands on. You are completely exposed to all the types of patients whosoever are coming under that particular person
In
whom
that
you are
organization.
working under. Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it can be any setting, right?
Any setting you can work
Yeah.
in hospital maybe or private clinics.
Is there a trend of home visits in Canada?
Yes, like I have seen like physiotherapists doing some home visits over there when they are like
Mhm.
fully licensed.
After you get full license.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, now we will break out in between. Parallelly, Prajakta, your journey is moving ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening at your personal life level? Were you married? Did you marry? And can this too happen parallelly? And what about work-life balance?
Yeah, for me it happened parallelly because, as I said, when I planned for Canada, at the same time, I was supposed to like get married in 2016. So when I got
Okay.
married, that time like we had applied for PR together
Mm-hmm.
as a family, and then when I came here, I came with PR in 2016. So the same year I got married and came to Canada.
Okay. So after your marriage, you parallelly both of you together applied for your PR.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you moved down to Canada, and
Yes.
then both of you started your career also parallelly,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think small adjustments may have to be made here, because maybe your fiance is working in one province, you may have to go to another province, or
Mm-hmm.
you made sure that you are in the same province or at least nearby, or was there a time of separation?
No, luckily that didn't happen. We landed in the same province. Yeah, because my husband, like, he was already working here, and we had like decided or planned accordingly
Okay.
to go into that province.
Okay. Okay. So you were together, but can it happen? I'm just a hypothetical question. Can it happen
Yes,
that you have to? Yeah.
yeah, that is possible,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
you have to work your way through that then.
Yeah. You must be lucky. It's simple that you both of you must be lucky to be having working in the same city, maybe not even the province, because
Mhm.
province is a big thing.
Yes,
Maybe in the same city, so you have to be plain lucky to get that.
yes.
Okay, Prajakta, great. So, how exactly is your day? What is the volume of patients that you see?
So normally, like, as I work in a private setting over here, I work 5 days a week,
Mm-hmm,
and about 6 to 8 hours per day. And the
mm-hmm.
volume of patients I see is approximately between 10 to 20 patients that you would see. Now, this
Okay.
depends on the organization you're working, how busy the day is,
Mm-hmm,
how the bookings are done, or how, like, depending on the patient's schedule.
mm-hmm. Right now, what is the specialty of the setting in which you are working?
It's all like the musculoskeletal injuries or orthopedic conditions. Here we have patients like related work injuries. If someone is
Mm-hmm.
getting injured at work, or some motor vehicle accidents,
So
uh,
major of them are ortho patients.
major, yeah.
Okay, 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 great. Any stressful moments?
Um, Not a lot. I try to like work through that. Just manage, like, just planning your
No,
day.
means while working, sometimes we encounter difficult patients, and
Okay.
that I call as work pressure, pressure or stress at workplace, because sometimes they are so difficult to handle or to manage that we are bogged down by their demands. Sometimes some people are over demanding, some people are so sweet. So, what was your experience?
Yes, it's sometimes it's difficult, because so that's why I feel like educating the patient is very important, so that he knows
Okay.
what's going on and what the treatment plan would be.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it is very difficult to keep him like motivated,
Okay.
and myself as well,
Mm-hmm.
to see
True.
that we are working properly towards their goal.
Mhm. True,
So
very
that can
true.
happen sometimes, yeah.
What do you think are the skill sets of a good physiotherapist? What would
I
you advise rather people to have? Which skill set is very, very important?
Time management, then having
Mm-hmm.
interpersonal skills. If you are the people's person, I would say, like, be a good listener.
Mm-hmm.
As a physiotherapist here, we spend a lot of time with our patients, almost like 45 minutes to 1 hour, right? So try
Mm-hmm.
to understand what's their goal and work towards that along with the patient, to see uh, how do they want the treatment to be like, or like try to be like do tailor-made treatment.
Mm. Okay.
Then proper communications with your colleagues to find a proper protocol which would work best for the patient.
Yes. So, two, three traits I have understood from all the conversations down the line for the past many months when I am interviewing people is that in healthcare, you must be a people's person. You
Mhm.
should have good communication skills.
Yes,
These two are very, very important. And no one has said that you must be very knowledgeable, because knowledge can be acquired.
yes,
But these are the traits which you must be presentable, you must have good communication skills, you must be ready to show empathy. All these are very important for a healthcare professional.
that's right. And even like professional point of view, curiosity to learn new skills, because
Mm-hmm.
that's going to add in your skill set.
Okay, okay. So, any new thing you learned, which, yes, Shivani, you can ask the question. I'm just asking one question, that any new skill sets which you learned after going to Canada, which you had not done or not practiced back here in India?
So when you get like graduated, right? So there are different small courses that I would say like you can go for that. In India, I did some I learned some taping techniques. I did a Pilates course, that is to work on your core strength. And then after coming here, I did a course called functional dry needling. So they teach how to use the needles, which would add to your treatment protocol. But there are
So,
so many courses that you can always go for that to work on dizziness rehab, vestibular rehab, and things like that.
yes, Shivani, anything you would like to ask or add?
Yeah, just one question, since you have worked in two countries, do you, as a practitioner and a clinician, do you get any resistance just because you're not from the same nationality? Is there any sort of apprehension in the patient ki no, she doesn't belong to my country, she's from India, or something like that? Because these are the questions in our head.
Okay.
कि वहां जाके मिलेगा कि नहीं.
Okay. No, no, no. It has
Patient
never
acceptance. I think she's
Yeah,
asking about the patient acceptances.
because in healthcare, the first thing is trust. Can I trust this person? And
That's
nationality
right.
is a very big barrier. That's why.
So there comes your proper like good communication skills and educating them. But like luckily, I didn't have any experience like that. All the people here are very like helpful and cooperative. So
Okay,
that's not
great.
an issue.
Not an issue at all.
Yeah,
Okay,
In both the
nice.
countries.
in both the countries. Yeah.
Okay, so I think Prajakta, anything else which you would like to add up as an advice, suppose to Shivani you want to give? What would you advise her? You would tell her to do her masters in Canada, or do masters in India and then migrate to Canada, if at all she wants to, or you would say that go there, study, and come back in India. What advice would you give, if at all?
So I would advise like just plan ahead.
Mhm.
First, you decide like whether you want to do it in India or abroad. Like even in India, it's very good option like to do the masters over there, right? So, but just see what are your strengths and which field
Yeah,
you want to like proceed with,
Mhm.
and see like which course fits you the best.
Mhm.
If
right.
it's abroad, try to have a plan and try to work at least 1 or 1.5 year ahead of that, because this process
Right.
can take time. And in COVID
Yeah.
situation, like it can take more time for like the documentation and admin purpose.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I think good time, good discussion. We are almost close to 45 minutes. And at the fag end, I would like to ask Prajakta,
Mhm.
um, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
So I'm getting now experience working here, right? So I'm thinking like maybe I could open my own facility or a clinic where I would get an opportunity to rehab my patients by using different skill set that I have earned in these years, and just to add on new skills, do some courses.
Mhm.
So that's what.
And one more question. Do you have to renew your license repetitively every 2-3 years or something like that, and maybe show some continuous education sort of a thing that I'm getting updated? So, what about that?
Yes. So in every province where you work, there is a college. So as I work in Alberta, there is Alberta College of Physiotherapy. So you have to renew your license with them every year. And
Mhm.
there are certain like things like they will ask you to do some kind of course and write an assignment on that. So you have to always like upgrade yourself
Mhm.
to keep that.
Yes, Shivani. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
I I have no idea, very honestly.
Then get
I think
idea.
yeah, I'm very underexposed. I haven't seen what physiotherapy is actually like, right, yet, because I'm
Right.
still working in a hospital and we still have postings and everything.
But I would say
So,
like it's okay not to have a plan, but as you get that
yeah.
experience working in different
Yeah,
settings,
along with exposure, yeah, I think I'll figure out
yes.
So, how much time would you give yourself, Shivani? I
to
want you
figure
to
out
commit.
what to do.
Yeah, I want you to commit something today. Please commit.
Uh, this live was a trick.
I have catched you now.
I think a year should be fine to decide what to do.
What say Prajakta? Is an year enough?
Yeah, let her take her time. Like maybe it depends on
See?
individual, like, but I would say like 1.5 year.
Yes.
But Prajakta, if you ask me as a career counselor, today is the day when you have to start taking a decision in a direction.
That's
At least your focus should be clear that this is the direction in which I want to move. You get 1.5 years of experience or 2 or 3 years of experience, doesn't matter. But your
Right,
final
right.
destination must be clear. If
yeah,
you don't have a
and
final destination now, then you will keep on rotating yourself here
yeah.
and you'll get churned out.
Right. So your view and your goals should be clear. Like even if you're working, you should be working towards that goal in that time.
Yes, yes,
Right.
definitely.
So you must set yourself a deadline, a timeline.
That's right.
Right.
That's what I see, because the time period is too long. It's not a short time period.
Yeah.
And I always say healthcare professionals that you people are not engineers. Within 2 years, an engineer starts working in whatever country he or she has gone. This is not the case with you people. As she rightly said, she moved in 16, and now in 2020, after 4.5 years, now she is a registered practitioner. So you have got a big timeline.
Yeah.
So it's very important to get a focus and set a goal. Say, when I ask you 10 years down the line, okay, now tell me 5 years down the line, where do you see yourself?
I can tell
See,
you 3 years down the line. 3 is fine. 5 is still very far away. Because I
Okay.
just think as we get exposure, maybe what I decide today won't be what I decide 6 months down the line after seeing so many revolutions in
Alternatives.
the, yeah, exactly. So
So
that's
don't go for alternatives. Do your research and get yourself
yeah,
a focus.
Yes.
yes,
Do the research and get yourself a focus. Then only you can work in the same direction. As
Because
she also
yes,
said,
you have to count that time. Like whenever you are in a certain country, you don't know the system there, right? Like
hmm,
license you can get, it can happen in first 2 years, or it
hmm,
might be 4 years. So that's
hmm.
yeah,
that you have to keep in mind.
yeah, yeah,
And I think both the attempts, three attempts are allowed for each step one and step two
yeah.
both.
Yes.
At least for Canada, we are talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So nice to have you both today. We had
Yeah.
an interesting discussion today, I think so. And we were able to give some inputs to our viewers as well as to Shivani as a student.
Yes, yes,
So,
definitely.
And I would be
thank
happy
you.
to share any links if you want, like if you're planning to go for further studies or licensing, I can share it to Manjusha ma'am and she can share it with her students.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, signing off from Breakthrough Higher Education, Prajakta, Shivani, and Manjusha. Goodbye and good day to Canada and good night to India. Good evening, rather. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.